Yesterday, something pretty exciting happened here in the Woodyard, and it is something that has never happened before. You may or may not have been able to tell from that little clip right there, but those logs coming out of Rick's truck, they were all cherry. Well, except for one. There is one stick of maple. Otherwise, it was a complete load, a big load of cherry. And like I mentioned before, I have never had Rick bring me a load of cherry. I'm not sure if there's even been a single log of cherry he's ever been able to drop off here. But it just so happens that a couple weeks ago he had a job that ended up being a couple cherry trees. He took them down and now they are laying here in my woodyard. So now the thing with this cherry is I want to make a lot of it, almost all of it, into the mini firewood and the smaller splits. There will be some of it that I will end up, I don't think I'm going to actually end up with any boiler wood, but possibly this might be boiler wood, I don't know. But I'm going to try to not end up with some oh, that might be some boiler wood right there. One more time, can we find another possible piece of everyone's favorite word to say, boiler wood? I don't think so. I think it's all looking pretty good. But I don't want to split this all down into like 16-inch pieces because while I do sell a little bit for like smoker wood and cooking wood, I don't sell a lot of cherry for that. And I don't want to split this down and just put it in with the recreational campfire wood because there is a much better place for this. There's a much greater demand, and that demand is in the little mini firewood splits. So because of that, because I want to turn most of this into what will become a heaping pile of mini firewood. There's a lot of mini firewood in this pile right here. So because I want to do that, I am going to take a little different approach to I guess prepping some of these logs. Some of them, they're not all perfectly straight. So a few of them I am going to get ready to break down into mini firewood. And the easiest way to cut and produce the mini firewood is with the yappa. Currently, that's the easiest way to get the measured cuts, get the chunks, because while I could do it with the chainsaw where I could cut 5-inch chunks off, it's just a lot easier to do it on the yappa. But to do it on the yappa, it's a lot easier when I have straight sections. So like for instance, this log right here, I'm gonna probably end up cutting right here. So I have that nice straight section and right here. So I have that straight end piece. This little middle section that kind of makes a little S, a little shifty S right there, that I'm going to probably cut out, and then I will deal with that later as far as processing it down. So that is just a little heads up, just so you know when I get into cutting this pile up, why you might be wondering, why are you cutting some logs in half? Why are you cutting out pieces here and there? What is going on? That is the reason. It's going to appear a bit chaotic. It's going to appear like I may not know what I'm doing, which is partially true, but some of the pieces it's going to be easier to make smaller straight sections of even 4 to 6 feet instead of just trying to feed the whole log through the yappa and dealing with the twists and the turns and the knots and all that fun stuff. So I'm probably going to end the saw footage right there, just because it is Father's Day this weekend, and I don't want all you husky guys putting that 500i on your Father's Day list last minute. So I don't want to show that too much. All right, fine, I'll show you a little bit more. So on this one here, I did cut out one section that is roughly 16 inches, I think, close enough, eyeballing it, and then a couple 5-inch cookies, and then the rest of this log now I can take and put through the yappa. Same with that one, that one, that one, that one. Those are all nice and straight. They're not gonna fight a lot going in the infeed. That one back there. This one right here. There were a few end pieces, like that one, that, ooh, it is a little ugly. That just might end up being, you guessed it, say it with me. 1, 2, 3, boiler wood. Nice little piece right there. Again, here's another decent log for the yappa. Same with that one. That'll make cutting those 5-inch cookies off, or 5-inch cuts, make it a lot easier. Now you may be thinking that this is a lot of firewood to be processing down into mini firewood. However, there's one thing that I may have forgotten to mention in the beginning. Each of these logs that I cut the 5-inch sections off of for the mini firewood, the end of the log, I end up getting one 16-inch piece out of it. And the reason for that is, inside the yappa here, when the log is coming in, this is holding the log down. So when the end of the log comes in and it stops and it's still being held down by this, I can take a 5-inch cut off, and then what I'm left with is, well, you can see here from some of the oak that I was running, I'm left with 16-inch pieces. And I know they're 16 inches because it stops right about at the 16-inch mark on this little measuring strip inside the yappa. So each of these logs will have at least one end cut off that is 16 inches long that I can use then for those people that do want some regular sized firewood for their smoker or whatever. And one quick shout out, I know in my last video I gave a shout out to all those that have already purchased mini firewood, but in my last video, that day, the day that video came out, and I mentioned that in the video, I actually had what I think was my highest day of sales yet. In one day, actually half a day, the orders that came in. So if you order some mini firewood from the last video, thank you very much. I know there were quite a few people that ordered the mix, which the mix does contain cherry. So in the future, some of this wood laying right here will be either mixed into you know, a box with the oak and the maple, or you do have the option to just order straight cherry on the website. So again, this will all be, well, not all of it, but most of this will all be future Mini Firewood. And I am super excited because, yeah, I've never gotten a load of cherry before. And now I have some, and the stuff that I had is almost gone. And so I was thinking, you know, in order to get more cherry in to go through the seasoning process and the heat treatment, all that, I was thinking I was going to end up needing to make a trip down to the farm and kind of scout out to see if I could find any dead standing cherry. But the problem with dead standing cherry is that usually the tree is, once it's been dead standing for a month or two, it starts to rot really quick. So I am very thankful and very grateful for Rick coming through, bringing me this load of cherry. It's a beautiful thing. So all right, quick announcement, tomorrow night on the Back 40 Friday Night live stream at 8 p.m. Central, right here on Back 40 Firewood. I do have a little unboxing to do from a fellow YouTuber who's kind of gone on another little venture with another channel and with a new little, I guess, side hustle, hobbyist. And then the other thing is I do have some stuff to announce about the Midwest Firewood Frenzy coming up on June 22nd. So tune in tomorrow night to the Back 40 live stream, 8 p.m. Central. We'll talk about all that. We'll talk about maybe some of this cherry. Oh, man, it's smelling so good out here right now. I had a plan to move some of this around, but I'm waiting on something to be delivered, which I may have to go and take care of here in a little bit. It's going to actually help me move some of this around. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool.